Hi everyone, good day. Here's another update for my N-400 application, naturalization application. June 5th, as I have said on my last video, was my biometrics. So, I waited for the next letter. July 5th, I received the letter for my interview. This is the letter. I will read it to you. You are hereby notified to appear for an interview on your application for naturalization at the date, time, and place indicated above, which is Wednesday, August 7th, 2019, 1:20 p.m. Waiting room capacity is limited. Please do not arrive any earlier than 30 minutes before your scheduled appointment time. The proceeding will take about 2 hours. If for any reason you cannot keep this appointment, return this letter immediately to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services or USCIS office, address listed above, with your explanation and a request for a new appointment. Otherwise, no further action will be taken on your application. If you're applying for citizenship for yourself, you will be tested on your knowledge of the government and history of the United States. You will also be tested on reading, writing, and speaking English. Unless the day you filed your application, you have been living in the United States for a total of at least 20 years as a lawful permanent resident and are over 50 years old, or you have been living in the United States for a total of 15 years as a lawful permanent resident and over 55 years old. Or unless you have a medically determinable disability, you must have filed Form N-648 medical certification for a disability exception with your N-400 application for naturalization. So during the interview, you should bring the letter. This letter that I am reading now. Your green card, any evidence of selective service registration, your passport and or any other documents you used in connection with any interest into the United States. Those items noted below which are applicable to you. So there is, if applying for naturalization as a spouse of a United States citizen, your marriage certificate is very important. Proof of death or divorce for each prior marriage of yourself or spouse, if it's applicable to you. The papers that are applicable to me, our marriage certificate, my spouse birth certificate. That's all for that second part. If copies of a document were submitted as evidence with your N-400 application, the originals of those documents should be brought to the interview. So this is how thick my package was. I brought this and the original documents that I had or that I have for the papers that I submitted, for the copies that I submitted in my package. So that's it. My interview date was August 7th, 2019. So today is September 17th. So I am going to share to you my interview. So August 7th, I went to the USCIS for my interview. I brought this and another documents, supporting documents, the original, like taxes and passports. I brought my old passport just in case he will ask it. Okay, so I went there and did my interview. First was the swearing that I will tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. So that's what I did. And then he asked me to sit down, and I sat down, and he started getting my papers. When he got my papers, it's like this thick. It's very thick. It's like, wow, that's a lot of papers. Are those mine? And then he said, yes, these are all yours. those are the papers from the beginning, like when my husband submitted the papers, like when he started the petition. So those are the papers from the beginning until my naturalization application. So he started, he said, this is very quick and this is very easy and I know you will pass the test. Like, oh, I hope so too. Thank you very much. So he started asking my green card, the letter, and other ID. I think I gave him my Pennsylvania ID. And then he checked my papers. He checked everything since the fiancé visa. And he reviewed everything. I believe he already reviewed it before I came. So he just like, okay, you're good in this, you're good in that. So he started with the writing. So the first was writing. He had an iPad there on the front, in front of me, and he told me to write down the sentence that he's going to tell me. So he said, who lives in the White House? And then please write it down in the pad. So I wrote down who lives in the White House. Okay, so like after that, okay, you passed the writing test. Now let's go to the reading test. And then it popped up there. As soon as the sentence popped up there, you read it. Pop. Okay. Okay, you can start reading now. The president lives in the White House. So that's the sentence there. The answer of the questions that I did write in my writing test. So okay, you passed that. You passed two levels. Now we'll be going to the test, to the history and civics test. So these are the questions that he asked me. He told me I have 6 questions for you. If you can answer everything, then you will pass. So I still have 4 questions if in case you don't know the answer of some of the questions. So there are 10 questions, you only have to answer 6. This first 6 questions that I give to you, if you could answer it, then I don't have to ask the other 4 questions. Am I understood? Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. So the first question, it's not, these questions are not in order. I just checked everything here. After the test, I checked every questions that he asked me after, after we left the building. So one of the questions is this: we elect a U.S. representative for how many years? So of course, there are 2 years. I got the right answer, and that's 1. Second, what is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? So that's Michael R. Pence. That's 2. I got the right answer. Number 3, how many justices are on the Supreme Court? And I said 9. So I got the right answer. 4th question, what group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? So I answered Africans. There's 4. I got the right answer. Let's go to number 5. Who was the first president? And I answered George Washington. And I got the right answer. So that's 5. So I need 1 more question and I'll be good. Number 6th question. Who was president during World War I? And I said Woodrow Wilson. And I got 6. Yay! So I was like, "Ooh, you passed the test," he said. Okay, we'll go to your papers. So, another questions. He asked me about personal questions here on my N-400 form. About one of the questions he asked, if I have used other names since birth. So I answered that. And then about my job, and then what's my position in the job that I have right now. And then he also asked about my previous job and what's my position, or what was my job there. And then the address, if it's still the same, if I know my address, just in case. The life that I had in the Philippines, like my job in the Philippines, my teaching job, and my height and weight. He asked about that. What else? The travel that I had in the Philippines. So since I came here, I had 3 travels. So he asked me about it also. My husband's job and where he is working. What is his job? What else? I'll just make this quick. Oh, this additional information, like, have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen in writing or in other way? The yes and no questions. He also asked that. This one, he asked these questions to me. Were you ever involved in any way of the following? Genocide, torture, killing or trying to kill someone, badly hurting or trying to hurt a person on purpose, forcing or trying to force someone to have any kind of sexual contact or relationships, not letting someone practice his or her religion. He asked that. Or have you ever, the military unit, parliamentary unit, police unit. He asked that. He was so quick, like, no. Okay, so that's pretty much it, the questions. And then after that, he told me, just wait a second, I'll print your receipt. And then I waited, and he gave me this receipt. It's Form N-652, Naturalization Interview Results. Alien number, date, and the officer who interviewed me, but his name there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes on the first part, and then I will read it to you. He crossed the first part. It says, you passed the English test and the U.S. history and government test. Good. Next, congratulations. Your application has been recommended for approval. At this time, it appears that you have established your eligibility for naturalization. If final approval is granted, you will be notified of when and where to report for your naturalization ceremony. Okay, so he said, read this one to make sure everything is correct. So I read it, like, I passed the test, congratulations, like, thank you very much. So I was so happy, and I said, oh, thank you, Lord, I did pass. So he told me, do not apply for a passport yet. Wait until your naturalization ceremony is done. So congratulations, and you passed the test. Just wait for the ceremony. We will send you a letter in the mail when and where your ceremony is. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like, comment nicely, share, and subscribe. God bless you all. Bye-bye. See you in my ceremony.